The flipped classroom, and what that is normally in a classroom, I might stand up and give notes, the kids take the notes, at the end I assign homework, and then they go home and they try to do problems for homework. The problem with that is if they don't understand what you did in notes, they're not going to be able to get their homework done, and it's the cycle. So what I do is I videotape myself giving the notes. The kids then watch those at home, or they could watch them in with headphones, they could watch them during advisement or something like that. And then they come into class, hopefully prepared to start working on the problems. And then so we spend a lot more time in class doing problems than we do doing notes. So I started this last year, about halfway through the year, and I wasn't planning on jumping into it like whole hog, but then as I started doing it, I liked it, so I did. So that's pretty much how I teach my whole class. And at the end of the year last year, and then halfway through the year this year, I polled my kids to see how they liked it. And so 5, a positive response, do you like it? Doing it this way, getting the notes from the videos, and most of the kids said 4 or 5. How often do they watch the videos? Because I was kind of worried about that they may not do it. To ensure that they do, it's kind of a little homework grade. But again, most of the kids seem to be watching them most of the time. I was wondering this too, how engaged they are when they are watching the videos, so I asked them that, and this is their self-reporting. They said, again, mostly 4s and 5s, and there's how engaged are kids when you're giving notes too, right? They're not always on the ball either, so I think that this may be more engaged than they would be in the classroom. Then they seem to find that's helping them learn the material, so I like that. Then I started doing warm-ups, kind of go over what was on the video, because I knew that the kids, as they're watching the video, they might have questions that they can't ask me, so they might be a little confused. So I do a short warm-up at the beginning of class, going over the main points of the video, and then I ask them about that, because that's kind of new this year for me. And the choices were, it's not necessary, I understand most of the video without it, the warm-ups help, the warm-ups are absolutely essential, because I'd be lost if we didn't have it, or the warm-ups allow me to skip watching the videos entirely, because I had a feeling some of the kids might be doing that they were skipping the videos, and then just watching me do the warm-up, but nobody picked that. I'm sure it happens sometimes, so that was kind of happy. I was kind of happy about that. The next thing, most common comments, because the kids can comment on the survey too, they like the notes, they like getting notes out of class and getting help on the problems in class, so they like that they're spending a lot more time doing problem solving in class. The warm-ups help cover what I didn't understand in the video. One of the negative comments is they can't ask clarifying questions while watching the video. So, now this was actually positive in class. Sometimes I go too fast, they can't keep up. While watching the videos, they could pause it, rewind it, and they like that. They can rewatch the videos before the test, that's something that's kind of neat, because they're finding ways to use it I hadn't thought of. So the night before a test, they go back and watch all the videos on that topic. And then one thing they really liked, or someone said, is they watch the videos with headphones on in my room, so there's no distractions. So they find they're more distracted in school than they are when they're watching them. So I thought that was good. For me, the positive I found is in class there's more time on task doing problems. We're doing more problems and more difficult problems in class than I would have them do at home. And they can ask questions on how to do the problems and get immediate feedback. So if they're doing something wrong, I can say, oh, you forgot to convert from centimeters to meters, whatever, like right there. Things I had to get used to, there is less whole class interaction. When I'm standing up here talking, the kid has a question, I ask a question, we bounce things off of each other. You don't get that. And at first, it felt really weird, because I found I was hardly talking at all to the whole class, and that felt very different as a way to teach. There are fewer opportunities for spontaneous examples. A lot of times I'll be covering something, oh, this relates to, like if I'm doing magnetic fields, the auroras, and I'll start talking about that. I don't get to do that in the video, because the video is just kind of cut and dried. Now, and fewer opportunities to ask questions. My attempt at the solution, like I said, I started doing the warm-ups, and I embed the high points, the subtleties that common misconceptions and interesting applications. I try to throw those into the warm-ups, because I miss doing that stuff. So that's why I did it. Now, how I do it is this. So I like having my own notepads, right? Science teachers, I think, tend to be this way. This is the way I like the kids to learn about forces. this is how I'm gonna teach it. So this, what I would have done is given them this note packet before, right? And on an overhead, been writing on the overhead and talking, okay? Now I just make a video of me doing that. So this is in Microsoft Word right now, okay? In order to make a video of it, I have to put it into Smart Software. If you've ever done that, it's not very hard. You just print it, okay? But instead of printing it to a printer, you print it to the Smart Document Notebook Writer. So it's all set to do that, so I'll hit print. Now hopefully this isn't too slow. It's still working on it.
I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. Okay, so now there's two ways you can do it. It'll treat this as an image and copy it exactly like it is, or you can edit it. I do this because it doesn't like everything in Word. Tables come out horrible. So if you just do it as an image, it's going to look exactly like it does on the paper. All
Is
right.
your quality always okay? Because occasionally I've had things where the quality comes out really.
You know, since I've been doing that image, and I don't know if you have the same version, I've noticed that
Yeah.
they've come out pretty well.
Well, it might be coming from Word versus PDF or something too.
That could be.
but I've had some things that have come out really awful.
Grainy.
Yeah, grainy.
I found that some of the fonts don't transfer well.
Okay.
That could be. Okay.
You can always just take a picture of the camera as opposed to print it.
Oh, that's good.
Then it always
When I
comes out
open it as a PDF,
clear.
my certain fonts don't open.
Okay.
All right, so now it's in Smart Notebook software, and in order to take a video, it has something that's not normally on the toolbar. To get it there, you click on the little tool button thing. If I go down here, okay, right here is the video Smart Recorder. You just grab that and pull it up to the toolbar, and then it's always going to be in the toolbar. So once you do it once, it's all set. I have directions that I can hand out if you want, and all that stuff is in there. So now to record it, I just click on this, okay? Now, I got a recorder from the library. Jason was nice enough that he was willing to order me one, and we ordered some last year, but we found the quality wasn't that great, so we went back to using the one from the library. So I hooked up the microphone. Now to record it, I just hit record. I'm just going to record everything I say and write. So what is a force? A force is a push or a pull, like that. All right. Now I could pause if I realize I made a mistake or something. I can pause it. But when I'm done, I just hit stop, and then it's going to save it as a file. Right now, I'll just save it to the desktop so we can get to it. I would type in a name here. I wouldn't just leave it called March. Okay. And now it's saving it. It saves it as a WMV file, which these computers can pull up and read, but Apple computers can, but iPhones can't. So that's one of the drawbacks of this. And I'll show you how I get around that. Now, when this comes up, I always play it just to make sure I didn't make any stupid mistakes.
Record everything I say.
So that's what I just did,
What is
right?
force?
And now it's saved to my desktop,
Is a push.
so I can close it. Now, my next step is to put it in YouTube. So I won't go through all that detail, but it's not hard to get a YouTube account and to get the videos into YouTube. The only problem is we can't get YouTube in school. There's a form to fill out through the tech people, and then you can have access to YouTube. I did that because then, this is my blog. I'll go to the home page here, maybe. All right, I made up. So I have a blog. And some of you, bear with me. Yeah, there we go. So there's the home page. I put mine here. So right now we're doing magnetism, so they can go to electricity and magnetism, click on that, and the page comes up, and down on the page, here's all my videos having to do with magnetism. And so tonight I've assigned watch magnetism videos 6 and 7 and take notes. So they have that note packet. They're going to go home and watch the notes and copy it down. I'm not going to show you all of this. I have a handout if you want to step you through it. You can ask me questions if you need to. I also, because of the problem not being able to see YouTube, they couldn't watch this here at school on their own. I have them saved in other formats on my website, and they can look at them there. So there's 3 different formats, so they should be able to get it one way or the other.
So does WordPress, upload the WMV form? You don't have to have it in Word? You
Okay,
just
so,
use the
okay,
file?
so it's in WMV form, then I upload it to YouTube. So this is YouTube, so you can watch this anywhere in the world except here, through that. So that's one way. The problem with the WMV ones is they can't use their iPhones or iPads or whatever to watch them. And a lot of kids, that's the way they do it. Sometimes they'll even watch them like at the end of class if they're done with their work and
Right.
that's their homework. They'll put their earphones in and watch them in class and take the notes on their iPhones.
Can you convert it to a different, like a MP4?
So, yes, and that's in the notes that I gave, but, so once it's on YouTube, one of the buttons on YouTube to click is to download an MP4, so it'll convert it to an MP4 for you.
Okay.
So, yeah, and that's the 2 formats I have on my website, are MP4 and WMV, depending on where they are with it.
WordPress will take an MP4 if you have the paid subscription, but if you do the free subscription, YouTube is the solution.
Out of the paper, they have.
I don't know if you're gonna go over this or not, Joe. I've actually tried this before, but I remember the 2 or 3 times I tried it, half the kids didn't even watch the video. So what I was gonna do with them during class really
Right.
became kind of
Yeah,
okay.
that came up. So this is my AP physics class, so I can kind
Right.
of trust that they're gonna do it. I also, it's kind of, I give them points for doing it, and some of the kids are grade motivated, so they're gonna do it for that reason. Jason was saying, and I do this with my kids, like I said, they can watch them on their cell phones. So if they didn't watch it, you guys go to the back room, you can watch it on your cell phone or something like that. So that's a way around it, but you're right, if you had a class where you couldn't trust that the kids were gonna watch it consistently, that might end up being a problem. I was saying earlier, I have one kid I know who doesn't watch the videos, but he's smart enough that once class starts, he can figure it out. So he's losing little points for not doing the homework, but he's found that he can get by without it, so.
Okay.
I also shared with the last group that the people who go wholeheartedly on this at the lower than AP levels find that they need some way for kids to watch it. And if you're not comfortable with having kids use their phones, another avenue is to get a grant for a couple of iPads. So if you had, say, 6, it would be about a third or a quarter of a class that wouldn't do it, and they double up in the back of the room on iPads, we could do it that way. And three iPad minis is about $1,000. I'm willing to do the legwork to try to find iPads for people who want to explore this. I know Eric and several math teachers have been very interested in it, we have in the district now a whole bunch of iPads for the math teachers who are going to be exploring this type of a thing. He doesn't have them yet because they're processing them, but that's the type of thing that I'm starting to build next year's budget, and as people come with ideas like this is something the district is very interested in funding and looking for grant money to support. So,
Just as a side, I'm gonna let Eric go in a second. Are you all? Oh, you can't.
I'll look at
One thing I find, if a kid I know is gonna be out, or they're gonna be out for a week or something like that, you can just say, this week, go on the blog, it'll tell you which videos to watch the videos, take the notes, do the problems. With an AP class, I can trust that they're gonna do that. It also worked well for my summer assignment, that they can find it on there, so.
Hey, Joe, I have 2 questions.
Yes.
How do you know if they did their homework? And how long does it take you to produce about a classwork type of work?
Okay, so the videos, I tend to make them around 10 minutes. Okay, sometimes they're 15, sometimes they're 5, it just depends.
Okay.
So to make the video, to record 10 minutes, it takes me 10 minutes to record it, assuming I don't make any mistakes and have to do it over again. Then saving it and uploading it takes another 10 minutes or so. Well, I could be doing other stuff while that's going on. So they have their note packets. So when they come in, one of the things I'm going to do is show me your note packet, so I know that you took the notes, and that's all their homework is taking those 10,
So is
15
it like
minutes. for the notes.
scaffolded in there for them? Or do you just have them take notes on a spiral notebook?
Oh, no, so what I said at the beginning, remember I had that Word document about what our force is?
Yes.
They have a copy of that
They
Word
go home
document,
with it.
and they go home with it,
Okay.
right, and so then when they walk in, I say, open up to the page you were supposed to take, and that's how I
It's more
check.
prep work than just, it's normal prep work, but you have to do the packet and the video and upload everything,
Yes.
right? Okay.
Mhm.
Do you think it's adding to your normal prep time, like you just, like I can see this working in my AP classes, I don't know
Yes.
if I would trust it in my other classes.
Right.
But
Okay, so I would say it is,
Like, how much more work is it added? Do you know what I mean? Is it adding 20 more hours a week to your,
no, not that much, nowhere near that much, I wouldn't say. And then the other thing too, somebody asked, can you use the videos over again? So if